Perfect? Bang on my chest if you think I'm perfect. Go ahead, bang on it.
No heart?
You gotta have heart. Miles and miles of heart.
This is Patchwork Heart Ministries' Young Catholics Respond, brought to you by Breadbox Media. Now, here's your host, Bill Snyder.
Thanks, Adam, and welcome to the program, everybody. I am Bill Snyder, and it is a pleasure to have you joining me on Young Catholics Respond. No matter where you're listening, whether you are listening from the mountains of West Virginia or the plains of Wisconsin, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a brand new audience down in Huntley, Illinois as well. Thank you for tuning in if you're listening to us on Huntley Community Radio. Today, my guest is Jim R. Coleman. He is an actor that has thrived for over 20 years. He starred in Nickelodeon's hit series My Brother and Me and the syndicated series Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and appeared in numerous TV shows like The Walking Dead, Law and Order, Survivor's Remorse, and Bloodline. In addition to television shows, Jim has shared the movie screen with Michael Douglas, Anthony Hopkins, Russell Crowe, Morgan Freeman, Charlize Theron. With over 50 nationally televised commercials under his belt, he is also recognized as the commercial actor. He is currently working with St. Luke's Productions for the production of Tolton and playing the role of Father Tolton. Jim, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being with me here today on Young Catholics Respond.
Bill, thank you so much for having me. It is my pleasure.
Yeah, so Jim, I want to talk with you a little bit about your journey in acting. You have an amazing career, but just talk to us a little bit about your career in acting, how you got into acting and whatnot.
Well, basically, it was something that I started in high school, and I never really thought about being an actor. I had a teacher who really pushed me in that direction and said that I picked it up pretty well. But I did it in high school, and then I quit and went into the military. Got out of the military, and as a hobby would do local theater at different community theaters, and just I couldn't stop doing it. And I never studied acting. I never took any classes. I just loved to tell stories. And with that passion for telling stories, I started auditioning. And the next thing you know, I was doing a TV show and a movie, commercials, and it just never ended. And it's lasted for over 27 years now. And that's really how my acting career got started. And I'm still surprised that I'm an actor. I really thought I was going to be a journeyman press operator.
Wow. But that's incredible. So tell me a little bit about how your faith has developed over the years, Jim. It sounds like you've had an incredible experience with this play, but tell me a little bit how your faith has developed as an actor, and how difficult it is in Hollywood these days.
Well, I mean, as an actor, there are terrible temptations in the industry. But I was raised by a Baptist minister. My mom and my dad were in the church, so I was raised in the church, and I had a solid foundation. I knew right from wrong, and it's a choice. Everything you do is a choice. You can choose to follow the crowd and do what you feel is necessary to get you to the next level, to the next road, to the next, in the next series or whatever. But you can also choose to say no. You can choose to be a family man. You can choose to do what's right. And in life throughout, and I tell this to young people all the time, you don't have to follow the crowd. Follow your own road. You can let the people talk. And just understand that through God, everything is possible. You just have to have the strength to say no sometimes. And sometimes it is very difficult to say no. And I've had to pray about it. And, because my faith has been tested, but I chose to do what was right. And it's worked out. It's been a blessing. And I have been consistent because I never wanted to be a movie star or anything like that. I just wanted to work as an actor, and I have.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. And being true to the values, I think is such a huge thing for young people in our society. And there's so many young people out there today that that fall temptation to the subjects of movies. Were there any particular and television, right? We watch these shows and we see these different things. Were there roles that what were some of those roles that you enjoyed playing that had some moral fiber?
I have to say that the role of Roger Parker on My Brother and Me was one of the finest roles because it was good, clean, family fun. It was humorous, and it taught different values, different lessons in life. And it's so rare that you get an opportunity to play those type of roles. In my career, basically, that was the one until I started doing the role of Father Tolton. And it has been just a spiritual journey for me to tell his story and to paint this picture. Often before each show, I try and talk to Father Tolton. I pray a lot and ask that he tell his story and just allow me to be a vessel. And it has been so fulfilling that sometimes I feel like it's almost like an out-of-body experience, and he's telling the story, and I'm just there as a vessel.
Yeah. That's the amazing thing. I would guess about being an actor, right? You have the ability to be somebody completely different than who you are, and as you said, as a vessel to allow his intercession to come through and touch people in the audience, and that's one of the amazing things about St. Luke's Productions. As St. Luke's is dedicated to really highlighting the lives of the saints. I mean, they've done it from St. Maximilian Kolbe all the way down to Sister Faustina, and now Father Tolton. And Father Tolton, tell us a little bit about him. Tell us a little bit about him and who he is as a slave to, and now up for canonization as a Catholic priest.
Well, Father Tolton was born back in 1854 in Missouri as a slave. And he was there until he was 8 years old. He escaped with his mother, Martha. They escaped slavery, I believe it was around 62, 63. And his mom, who had never been on a boat before, rowed in a little dilapidated rowboat across the Mississippi River to freedom while being shot at by soldiers. And they made it across. And because, from my understanding, the slave owners at that time were Catholics, they made sure that the slaves knew about Catholicism. So when she got to Illinois, she sought out the Catholic Church. And once there, she asked that her son go to a Catholic school. And there was a priest, Father Schaefermeyer, who allowed him to come into his school, but he was kicked out of the school because he was black. Later, Father McGeer allowed him to go to Catholic school. But anyway, no seminary in America would take him. He wanted to be a priest. Here's a kid that escaped slavery and wanted to be a priest, but no seminary in America would take him. He eventually was accepted to the College of the Propagation of Faith in Rome. And he left in 1880. I think he was 26 years old. He went to Rome and became a priest after 6 years. He was ordained in 1886, and he was back in Quincy, Illinois. He actually thought he was going to go to Africa and be a missionary, but it didn't work out that way. And I don't think he really wanted to come back to the U.S. because of the persecution, the racism. I don't think he wanted to come back. But it was God's plan for him to come back. And when he came back, he made a difference. He became the first black priest in America, the first African-American born in America to become a priest. And now he's up for canonization. And it is such an amazing story. You know, this being Black History Month, people have stories about, the black people African-Americans doing different things in history. I look at Father Tolton's story not just as a African-American story, a black story. I look at it as an American story. This is the American dream, to come from nothing and achieve everything in life you really want to achieve. He became a priest, and one of the top priests, because he studied in Rome when most of the priests around him had studied locally or in the U.S. He was the one that came from Rome, could speak 5 different languages, and everybody adored him. So he achieved everything. And that is the American dream, really, to basically come from nothing and achieve everything. And he did.
Yeah, that's an amazing, amazing story, and an amazing man. And you mentioned some of the disadvantages that he had. Being a slave, being a black person in society, being rejected from seminaries in the United States. A lot of things had to break his way in order to get where he got, and that's just God's grace. Working through his life and his story, right? Right.
It's amazing that long ago in the 1800s, he was able to integrate schools. He was able to integrate a school and go to an all-white school. And it wasn't until 1954 with Brown versus Board of Education that schools were actually integrated. And it's hard to understand why a law had to be passed for schools to be integrated, because we are all just one people. We are one race. We're the human race, and we have to start seeing each other as one race. I mean, and the only time you see that we are one race is when you put children of a different color together and they play together like there is no color. They just have fun.
Amen.
Amazing.
Amen. Yeah, it's one of those things that I think we have done better with over the years, but there's still a long way to go, right? There's still a long way to go. Yeah, hey, Jim, we have to take a short break. It's that time, believe it or not. These shows fly right on by. We take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with you and talk a little bit more about the actual production and what's on stage, and what you're doing, and where the show's going, and how it's inspiring people across the country. So I'm going to take that short break here on Young Catholics Respond, and then when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Jim Coleman. I'm Bill Snyder. Right back after these messages.
Patchwork Heart Ministry is committed to sowing hope into broken hearts by helping young people encounter the love of Jesus Christ and His Catholic Church through prayer, storytelling, and media initiatives. We invite you to prayerfully consider supporting this mission financially. Mail your tax-deductible donation to Patchwork Heart Ministry at P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, zip code 53147, or visit patchworkheart.org to donate online. That's Patchwork Heart Ministry, P.O. Box 563, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin 53147, or online at patchworkheart.org.
Hi everybody, Bill Snyder here. Just want to thank you for listening to this episode of Young Catholics Respond. And as a founder of Patchwork Heart Ministry, we have so much more going on than just our podcasts. Check it out at patchworkheart.org.
Saint Therese of Lisieux's Little Way of the Cross, written by Victoria Clarizo and designed by Just Love Prince, is a beautiful prayer booklet that helps you pray the Stations of the Cross. Use these reflections to meditate on the great love and mercy that Jesus had for us as He journeyed to Calvary. The Little Way of the Cross includes gems from Scripture, the writings of Saint Therese, and the words of Jesus from the imagination and prayer of the author. Go to justloveprince.com to get your copy today.
Faith comes from what is heard, and what is heard comes by the preaching of Christ. But I ask, have they not heard?
Do you seek to make Scripture a greater part of your daily faith journey? Would you like it readily available on your smartphone or tablet? The Truth and Life Bible app delivers to your mobile device the complete Catholic edition of the Revised Standard Version of the Bible with a concordance entirely free. You will also enjoy free content from Father Robert Barron's Word on Fire, Father Jim McElhone's Word Made Clear, Jeff Caven's The Great Bible Adventure, and the Catholic News Agency. In addition, you can hear the Gospel of Mark dramatically proclaimed by world-renowned actors and actresses like Blair Underwood, Neil McDonough, Kristen Bell, and many more. The full audio dramatization of the New Testament, along with the Ignatius Study Bible, can be purchased within the app. It is available on the App Store, Google Play, Amazon Kindle, and at downloadjesus.com. For nearly 500 years, the people of Mexico have taken advantage of a promise made by the Queen of Heaven. In the year 1531, Our Lady appeared to a humble Aztec Indian and revealed herself to be the mother of the one true God. Telling Saint Juan Diego that she desired a temple to be built in her honor, she promised that she would help all those who appealed to her motherly love and protection. To seal this promise, our Blessed Mother left an image of herself that has been miraculously preserved and can be seen by all who visit the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico City. Our Lady is not a liar. For nearly 5 centuries, millions of people from throughout Mexico have made pilgrimages to the shrine, either seeking Our Lady's help or thanking her for a petition granted. Today, more than ever, she is ready to help you or any of her children who seek her assistance. To learn more about how you can visit this remarkable shrine and bring your own petitions to our Blessed Mother, please visit vivaguadalupe.org.
This is Martha Fernandez Sardina with your Love Minute, brought to you by RememberYouAreLoved.com. How much are you worth in God's eyes? You are precious. You are priceless. God so loved you that He actually created you out of love. Imagine that. God, who was sufficient unto Himself, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit from all eternity, He had no need of me, He had no need of you, and yet, in the mystery of God's love, He needed you, He needed me. He brought you into existence because He thought you into existence out of love. So you are so precious in God's eyes that He created you out of love, to love you on earth and bring you into His eternal love for all eternity, to love you on and on and on. For more on love, find us at facebook.com/RememberYouAreLoved. And remember, you are loved.
Do you want to keep your finger on the pulse of Patchwork Heart Ministry? Follow our monthly blog, Written on Our Hearts. Simply go to patchworkheartministry.blogspot.com and click subscribe, and follow the on-screen instructions. That's patchworkheartministry.blogspot.com, then click subscribe.
Your heart is always beating, but you never have to think about it.
Welcome back to Young Catholics Respond. Once again, Bill Snyder.
Welcome back to this episode of Young Catholics Respond, everybody. I am Bill Snyder, and on today's program, we are talking with actor Jim Coleman. He is playing the role of Father Tolton in St. Luke's Productions, of Father Tolton's drama. And so, Jim, I just want to talk with you a little bit more about, we talked about Father Tolton's life. We talked about how you got involved in acting and your career in faith. But let's talk a little bit more about the production. So how did you get started with St. Luke's, and, how did this all get started for you?
Well, for me, I had basically taken a step back from acting and had a really good friend that she's a producer and casting director. She heard about, she did some work with St. Luke, and she called me and said, I think you would be perfect for Father Tolton. And I said, I think you're wrong, because I'm not doing theater and I'm not traveling around. That's not what I do. My career is pretty set and I'm happy. And she says, God laid it on my heart that you were going to do this role. And I disagreed with her, but I auditioned anyway, and they found another actor to do the role, and I was thrilled. But it didn't work out. They gave me a call and asked if I would be interested. My wife and I and my family, we all prayed about it. And here I am. I've been doing it for a year now, and it has been one of the greatest things in my career. And I truly love portraying Father Tolton. So that's where I am.
Amazing that this was kind of every once in a while you get those signs from God, right? Whether it works to a friend or whatever, it just happens, and that's wonderful. The role was certainly made for you, it sounds like, and so talk to us a little bit about what the drama portrays to the audience, because for those of you who haven't seen a St. Luke's production, they're quite incredible, but they're pretty much a one person show, a one person drama. So tell us a little bit about what the audience sees at this production of Tolton.
This is actually a combination. It's a one-man multimedia stage drama. So you have one live actor, but you have a movie screen behind that actor with a movie going on that he's part of, but he's not in the actual movie. He's on stage or she's on stage. But the actor on stage interacts with the characters on the screen and portrays it as if the audience is in the movie also. So it's almost like a mind trick where the people in the audience are looking at the screen, at the actors, talking to the actor on stage. The actor on the stage is basically talking to them as if they're the person that's on the screen. So it's truly a unique experience. And after many shows, people have said, "How did you do it?" Because you're not looking at the screen. And it's just so amazing. I feel like I'm in it. I feel like I'm right there, like I'm walking with that person. And the fact that St. Luke Productions was able to come up with this technique, it is just amazing. The audience is truly amazed. The one response I get more than any other is, if I had known it was going to be so good, I would have told other people about it.
Well, I hope we're helping with that today, because you're telling people how awesome it is. So that's and whatnot. So, what are there certain areas of Tolton's life that this portrays and it hits? Home. What are those? I mean, I want people to go see it, and I'm sure it's different for everybody. But what are those parts of his life that you feel really come through you in this production?
I have to say, this show, it portrays Father Tolton from age 8 until his death at 43. And I mean, you get a chance to experience every aspect of his life as a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, as an ordained priest, all the way up to his death. And I mean, when he escapes slavery, you're there with him. When he goes into his first school, you're there with him. When he finds out when he's rejected by every seminary in the U.S., you're there with him. When he's accepted in Rome, you're there with him. While he's in Rome, you're there with him. When he comes back and he's accepted and then rejected, you're there. You experience his entire life, and it's unique. It really is, because people say when he was 8, I could see him when he was 8. Even though it was you on the stage, I could feel his presence at that age. And it's amazing. I can't even explain, but you will experience every aspect of his life from the time he was 8 years old until his death at 43.
Wow, that's amazing. That you're able to portray all those different points in his life and be able to show his whole life. What was that like? Obviously, making impact on audiences, right? It's growing the faith deeper for each and every person in the audience. But what are those things that maybe from a faith perspective in your life? How has it helped you in your life as you've portrayed Tolton on the screen?
For me, my heart is so full right now of love, charity, and understanding, because I know that with Father Tolton, he persevered, he was persecuted, but he prayed for his persecutors. He prayed for those, and it lets you know that through prayer, everything is possible. You have to just be so open with your heart to God and to others, and you will be able to persevere. Sometimes people come at you with so much negativity, just as they came at him with it, and he prayed for them. And it says, pray for your persecutors, forgive those that mistreat you, pray for those that bless those that curse you. And it's different things like that I didn't really understand until taking on this role. And sometimes I'm so overcome with emotion while I'm doing the show that I truly feel that he's there. And that emotion is so real. I've had people ask, oh, wow, how, you can make yourself cry on cue. And it's like, well, that's not in the script. that's not in the script. I feel the emotion that he must have felt during those times. And it has made me a more peaceful person, a more understanding person. And even in the times that we're living in now, and you see so much negativity here and there about things that are going on, it allows me to say that this too shall pass, and we will all get through it, and everything's going to be okay.
You know, that's beautiful. And it's so awesome to hear how your own faith has been deepened, and you know, you've become a better man through this.
Absolutely.
I want to talk a little bit about, you know, what your thoughts are on the canonization, because I know that Father Tolton is not a saint yet, but boy, it sounds like he already is, right?
Yeah.
So you know, what are your thoughts? Have you had any interactions with the people in charge of his canonization in Chicago? Have they asked you anything about it? I mean, I'm just as an impressive thing.
Yeah, I actually got a chance to meet Bishop Perry, who's the postulator of the cause, when I was in Phoenix doing the show. And it was just, he's such an amazing person, and he is pushing so hard for this. And Father Tolton is now venerable. So it is, you know, it's moving forward. When I was at the Napa Institute, I had the opportunity to talk to someone from the Vatican, that they said there are over 182 documents there on Father Tolton, and his cause is moving forward, and we should be expecting some great things from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just sounds like the way you're talking about him, he's already in heaven. He's already a saint. We're just waiting for that rubber stamp from the Vatican, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, some of the things that happen, some of the things that people say after the show, it's miraculous to me. And I've had people say that they've seen, you know, they've had visions during the show.
Oh, how amazing! How amazing! Truly an anointed production. So tell us now, in the just few minutes that we have left, tell us where people can go see this. You know, what cities are you coming to next, Jim, with St. Luke's?
Well, right now we're in Florida, which is really good because I love Florida and it's where I live. But after Florida, when we leave Florida, we'll be leaving Florida March 8th, I believe it is. And from there, we'll be in Chicago on March 8th, March 9th, and then Joliet, Illinois, March 13th.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So our new listening audience in Huntley, Illinois, you are right real close to it. If you're listening to this here on March 2nd, then you are real close to the Tolton dramas in Chicago. So where do they get their tickets, Jim, and how do they get in touch with you guys to go see it?
The easiest way is to go to toltondrama.com or stlukeproduction.com and just click on the calendar, and it will give you all the information you need. And a lot of times we have shows that are free will offerings. The shows are usually $10 or $15 at the most. And the production, the show that you will get, it's priceless. That's what I'll have to say. It's truly priceless.
Awesome. Jim, this has been so much fun talking with you today. Just an incredible faith-filled man, and just what an awesome time talking with you. And thank you so much for really investing some time today on Young Catholics Respond to talk with us. I really, really appreciate it.
It was truly a pleasure, and I ask that the young Catholics come out. Please, I'm looking forward to seeing some young Catholics out here. All right, yeah. But again, Bill, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you again, Jim. This has been an episode of Young Catholics Respond. Until next time, from all of us here at Patchwork Heart Ministry, I am Bill Snyder. Keep beating to your Catholic heart.
You've been listening to Young Catholics Respond, a radio initiative of Patchwork Heart Ministry. To learn more about our ministry and program, visit us at patchworkheart.org. Or to get exclusive access and early ministry updates, become our patron on Patreon by searching for Patchwork Heart Ministry.